Turning to the weather now and the dangerous flooding impacting millions of Americans in the Midwest. This video shows the devastation across South Dakota after days of rain caused rivers to overflow. At least one person was killed. Evacuations were ordered in parts of Iowa after the heavy rains destroyed homes and swallowed farm fields. Iowa's governor called the flooding in the state catastrophic.
Jennifer Mayerle from CBS Minnesota is joining us now from, of all places, Waterville, Minnesota. I mean, you can't sort of escape the obvious irony. Jennifer, how's it looking out there?
I mean, the water continues to rise here. Historic rainfall fell over the last few days, and it led to catastrophic flooding, washing out entire neighborhoods. And you can see sandbags here around this home, hoping to keep the water out as it continues to rise. And it's not just here. Record-setting flooding inundated parts of Iowa and South Dakota.
Here in Waterville, parts of the city are underwater.
They said it's only going to get worse, and so we're just bracing, and hopefully it's not going to get any worse than this.
A state of emergency remains where up to 18 inches of rain fell here. The National Guard is expected to arrive today and help with the rising flood waters.
It's ridiculous. I don't even know if there's a word for it. It's just unbelievable.
Parts of Iowa are underwater, too. Drone video over Rock Valley shows only roofs and trees are visible from above. There were 250 water rescues on Saturday alone.
I can tell you the devastation is severe and it's widespread.
The state's governor issued a disaster declaration in 21 counties after more than a dozen rivers flooded in the northwest part of the state.
In almost every community impacted, the rivers crested several feet above record levels from the floods of 1993.
In South Dakota, at least one person was killed after heavy rains and flooding inundated the eastern part of the state. Floodwaters there will continue to pose a threat. Across other parts of the Midwest, severe weather spawned 6 tornadoes that struck southern Wisconsin over the weekend. In Argyle, storms flattened the historic Apple Grove Lutheran Church, founded in 1893.
And Minnesota senators visited the area yesterday and said they're working with the federal government to deliver more assistance to these hard-hit areas. Now, the chance of more storms here remains low, but other parts of the Midwest will remain on alert later today, Anne-Marie.
So, Jen, I'm just sort of learning about Waterville. I mean, is this an area that typically floods when there's a lot of rain, or is this completely out of the ordinary for them?
I mean, it does see flooding, but this kind of flooding is out of the ordinary. I was just talking with the fire chief, and he said this is worse than the historic 1965 flooding, saying it's 23 inches above that time. And it's worse than the flooding we saw a decade ago in 2014. The water here, they are worried that it continues to rise. They have more sandbags coming in, 70,000 filled and put out so far, more people filling them today. He tells me that this is just something that the community is worried about. And also, when we talk about flood insurance, Anne-Marie, in an area like this, because it's prone to flooding but not this bad, he said very few people have it because it's so expensive. I talked to a homeowner here just across the street. They said they do not have that flood insurance. So sandbags, more of them are even going up as that water continues to rise.
Oh, man. And you know, that's a problem just clear across the country, the issues with flood insurance. Jennifer, thank you very much.